was just another morning at a bustling McDonald's in Doral, Florida, where the breakfast rush was in full swing. At one point, the sizzling sounds of eggs on the griddle, the rhythmic hum of coffee machines, and the occasional beeping of timers filled the air. Pedro Valoria, a 22-year-old employee, stood at the drive-thru window, his mind focused on efficiently serving customers their morning orders. He had done this 100 times before, but on this particular day, fate had something extraordinary in store for him. Before we get into this gripping story, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with inspiring real-life stories like this one. As Pedro handed out breakfast orders with his usual friendly smile, a silver SUV rolled up to his window. Inside sat a woman in the driver's seat, her 2 young children in the back, eagerly awaiting their food. Pedro greeted them as he always did, his cheerful tone a small way to brighten their day. But as he leaned out to pass the order, he noticed something unusual. The car wasn't stopping. Instead of halting at the window, the vehicle continued to creep forward, its movements erratic. Pedro's eyes darted from the driver to the kids in the back seat, who looked increasingly distressed. The woman's head bobbed slightly, and her breathing seemed labored, shallow, and irregular. Then came the sound that would send chills down Pedro's spine: the frantic cries of the children. "Mother, stop it! What are you doing?" the kids shouted, their voices breaking with fear. Pedro's heart began to race. It was clear that something was seriously wrong. The woman's jerking movements suggested she had lost control, and the vehicle's slow, uneven pace hinted at a potential medical emergency. Pedro didn't have time to overthink. His instincts kicked in. "I could tell she wasn't okay," Pedro later recounted. "Her breathing was off, and those kids were screaming for help. I knew I had to do something." Pedro assessed the situation as best as he could in the seconds he had. The vehicle was heading toward a busy road, and if it reached the main traffic, the consequences could be catastrophic, not just for the family in the car, but for everyone else on the street. Without hesitation, Pedro did something that would later earn him national praise. He climbed out of the drive-thru window. Pedro, clad in his McDonald's uniform and headset, leaped through the small window and hit the ground running. Surveillance cameras captured the dramatic moment as Pedro sprinted after the rolling SUV. Inside the car, the children's cries grew louder, their fear palpable. As the vehicle approached the curb, Pedro pushed himself to run faster. He wasn't thinking about the risk to himself. All he could think about were the 2 kids and their mother. Just as the car reached the edge of the parking lot, it hit a curb and slowed to a stop. A stroke of luck that gave Pedro a critical window of time. "I didn't care about myself," Pedro said later. "All I could think about was saving those kids and their mom. If I had to risk my life, so be it." Pedro reached the vehicle and quickly opened the door. The woman was slumped over the steering wheel, unresponsive, her breathing shallow. Her children were crying uncontrollably in the back seat. Pedro spoke to them softly, trying to reassure them while figuring out what to do next. "It's okay," he told the kids. "We're going to help your mom." At that moment, another stroke of fate intervened. An off-duty fire rescue officer happened to be inside the McDonald's lobby when the commotion began. Seeing Pedro sprint out of the drive-thru, the officer rushed to the scene and joined him. Together, they assessed the situation and began to render aid to the unconscious woman. The off-duty firefighters started performing CPR, while Pedro focused on comforting the children, who were visibly shaken. Their tear-streaked faces and trembling voices broke Pedro's heart, but he knew he had to stay calm for their sake. "The kids were scared out of their minds," Pedro said. "I just kept telling them everything was going to be okay." A second McDonald's employee, who preferred to remain anonymous, also stepped in to assist. Between the 3 of them, they managed to stabilize the woman enough until paramedics arrived. The scene was a chaotic mix of urgency and teamwork, but thanks to their efforts, the situation was under control by the time the ambulance arrived. The woman, later identified as an off-duty police officer, was rushed to a nearby hospital. Pedro stayed behind with the children until a family member arrived to take them home. Though shaken, Pedro was relieved to learn that the woman was expected to recover. "She's alive, and that's what matters," Pedro said. "I'm just glad I was there to help." News of Pedro's heroic action spread quickly. The surveillance footage of him leaping through the drive-thru window and sprinting to save the family went viral, capturing the attention of media outlets and social media users alike. People were in awe of his bravery and selflessness. Pedro's employer, McDonald's franchise owner Alex Menendez, was among the first to praise him publicly. "Pedro is an exceptional employee, and his quick thinking in such a critical moment didn't surprise me," Menendez said. "He went above and beyond, and we're incredibly proud of him." But Pedro remained humble. "I don't see myself as a hero," he said. "I just did what anyone would do. I saw someone in trouble and acted." The incident also sparked a broader conversation about the importance of being prepared for emergencies. Pedro's quick actions likely saved lives that day, and his story inspired many to consider how they might react in similar situations. In the weeks that followed, Pedro received countless messages of gratitude and admiration. Strangers reached out to thank him for his bravery, and his story served as a reminder of the power of human compassion and quick thinking. For Pedro, the experience was life-changing. He had always been a hard worker and a kind-hearted person, but this event gave him a new sense of purpose. He began volunteering with local community organizations, using his newfound platform to spread awareness about the importance of CPR training and emergency preparedness. "I want people to know that you don't have to be a firefighter or a doctor to make a difference," Pedro said. "Sometimes all it takes is the courage to act." This story is a testament to the idea that heroes can come from anywhere. Pedro Valoria was just an ordinary McDonald's employee, but on that day, he became an extraordinary example of bravery and selflessness. His actions remind us all that even in the most unexpected moments, we have the power to make a difference. If this story moved you, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss more inspiring stories like this one. Share Pedro's incredible act of courage with your friends and family, and let us know in the comments, what would you have done in his shoes? Thank you for watching, and remember, true heroism isn't about what you wear or where you work. It's about what you do when it matters most. Stay inspired and always be ready to lend a helping hand.